Hello, welcome back to Jimbo's PC Builds. Today I'm going to review another LANCOOL case. I know, I can see in your eyes you're excited. No, seriously, I'm going to do the LANCOOL II. Previously I did a review of the LANCOOL 205 and I made comparisons directly to the LANCOOL II case. So today I'm going to do a review of the LANCOOL II, looking at it generally as a case, what it's like to build in, etc. But also comparing it to the LANCOOL 205. Sort of trying to look at the price difference, if it's worth the money to say, yeah, I'll pay the bit of extra money because the extra features that you get with the LANCOOL II are worth it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a walk around with the case, then I'm going to do a build in the case, and then I'm going to give you my general thoughts and conclusion at the end. And hopefully by the end of the video you'll be able to sit there and go, yeah, it's worth paying the extra money for the case, or no, it's not. Again, obviously this will be subjective to each individual because some features might be worth it for others and not for some. So again, this is going to be my opinion in this piece, but you know, hopefully it'll be helpful. So without further ado, let's have a quick walk around of the case and then we'll go to the build montage and then I'll give you my thoughts and conclusion. Alright, let's get to the walkthrough. So the case itself is a full ATX case. It's got glass side panels and a basement cover on both sides. To open up the side of the case, you've got to pull the metal basement cover down first, and then the gas panel swings open like that, and once it's open you can then lift the glass panel off its hinges. Putting it back on, but it simply slides back on and closes up. Okay. So let's have a look at the inside of the case, shall we? Yes, let's. So inside it looks actually very similar to the LANCOOL 205. It's got the cable cover, which sits there. It's got 2.5-inch bays down the bottom there. It's got the power supply basement, the same as the 205. It's also got the panel that you can remove, which means you've got more room to do water cooling. The drive cage at the bottom also, I'm guessing by looking through this side, does the same as the 205, where it can move forwards and backwards. In the case, there are 3 included case fans. They've got 2 at the back to pull air from around by the CPU cooler. I don't know if I'm going to leave it in that configuration because that's a negative air configuration. If I do leave it this way, I might consider putting an extra fan at the front to balance the air supply. So you've got 2 at the front and 2 at the back. 2 intake, 2 outtake. But so far it looks very similar to 205. Good amount of room to build in. Oh, the other thing that I liked about the 205, which you've got the same in here, is you've got nice pass-throughs for any cables coming to the bottom of the motherboard or coming to your GPU. Alright, let's have a look at the back. Okay, so back, as I said, has the same covers. So you pull the basement cover down. The chief difference between this and the one at the one at the front's got vents by your power supply to let air come out. On this side there aren't any vents, however there are 2 SSD mounts which are nicely located here, so they'll be easy to get access to and easy to run cables to as well, and they'll be nice and hidden. The big difference between this and the 205 at the back is when you open up the glass panel to reveal what you've got. They've included these very nice cable covers, so you'll be able to hide pretty much all of your cables, which will make cable management a lot easier. And they've got literally just thumb screws which you undo, and then they come away, and then once you've got your cables in, you put it back in, and then you tighten up the thumb screws. It's also got 2 further SSD mounts, so you've got 4 SSD mounts at the back, which is pretty decent. That's more than the 205. As I suspected earlier, the drive cage does in fact move and can be removed as well, and the same as the 205. So it's got a few more features than the 205, but it's seen as a more market case. So far, yeah, I think it's got more features than the 205, but we'll find out what it was like to build in, because to be perfectly honest, it looks very similar. So let's have a look at the front. The front of the case has got these slats, which are pronounced more at the front than they were on the 205. And the 205, they're at the side, they're at the front on this. They're still not the biggest intake area, so I'm a little bit worried about air coming through, but it should be okay. Unless you're throwing something that will be really hot, you should be okay. Taking off this front panel, like so, from the bottom, and inside you'll see that there's mesh built in for dust filters behind the intake vents. It's also got a wireless connection because there are RGB lights built into the front panel. So when you click that back on, it makes contact with the pins that are down here. Simply clicks back on like that. There is a space for a USB-C port, but as you can see, it's got a rubber thing in it. If you want to add a USB-C, you've got to buy a separate additional that you can get from Lian Li. There are two USB 3 ports on the front. You've got the power button, a reset button, and it looks like you've got fan and RGB control buttons as well. There's also a filter on the PSU basement for making sure that the fan that goes into the PSU is filtered. Alright, so now we've had a look at the features. Oh! Last thing before I forget, you've also got the removable dust filter from the top if you want to use the top as intake. So you got that as well. Alright, so without further ado, let's get to the build, and then I'll give you the conclusions that I found when building in it. Alright, let's go. So in conclusion, the LANCOOL II is an absolutely great case. There's no doubting that it's a great case to build in. I really enjoyed building in it. It was an absolute dream to build in. So in conclusion, how does this case separate itself from the LANCOOL 205? The LANCOOL II has additional features. It has the glass panels on the side, the basement flaps that come down. Both of those are magnetic, which are easy to get in and get out. The front panel is lit, also comes off a lot easier. You've got additional 2.5 SSD mounts on one of the basement flaps on the back, which is a really nice feature. And one of the key features is you've got cable covers on the back, which make hiding all the cables a lot easier, especially because you've got a glass panel on the back. It makes it just look so much clean. If you've got the likes of a Team Group lit SSD, it'll be great for putting on the back of the case because you'll be able to see it because of the glass panel. So with that in mind, do I think it's worth the extra 20 to 30 bucks? I would say yes. You know, the LANCOOL 205 is a great case, as is this, and they're both equally as good to build in. But those little features like the RGB you can see behind me, it's just a little bit nice. It adds that little bit of touch. It feels a little bit more premium than the 205 does. The 205 is still a magnificent case. And if you're looking for to spend $70 on a case, you can't go wrong with that one. If you want to directly compare the LANCOOL 205 to this case, I'll leave a link in the video description so you can go back and watch the LANCOOL 205 review. Also, if you want to buy the LANCOOL II, I'll leave links in the video description for where you can purchase the case from. Alright, I hope you found the video informative. If you do like the video, then don't forget to click the like because it really helps in voting within YouTube so the video will get more exposure. If you didn't like it, please leave a comment down below so you can tell me what you didn't like so I can try and improve the channel in some way. Also, if you have the case and are built in the case or you are curious about the case and have got additional questions, please leave comments below. Please subscribe. That would be really helpful. Subscriber numbers are hard to come by and they're great because they help the channel improve in terms of YouTube, see the highest subscriber numbers. Also, when you subscribe, I've got content coming out at least once a month. So if you click the bell notification, you'll find out when they're coming out. All right. That'll do it for now. And as always, take care.